And this is going to be a fun time of demonstration, and this is going to be in some cases new for some of you. It's going to be maybe some repetitive. Our There were so many tools that we spent quite a bit of time trying to decide, like, what are we going to share. I mean, we have been spending so much time. This has become kind of like our world. And so, how could we choose this tool and not that tool and not this tool and this tool, and this one would lead to another? And so we went through quite a bit of trying to figure out what would be best. And so I think we've put together about 5 or 6 tools that we're going to be able to share with you. And it's just meant to be kind of like a tip of the iceberg for you to see. And it's kind of tools that we feel like they can be applied on a personal level, something that you can apply with children, something that if you are a grandparent or you're a parent or you're a future parent or an uncle or an aunt, but also there's some tools that can be used from a professional standpoint. And we are excited about that because they're really communication tools in terms of taking lots of data, lots of information, these long PDF documents, um, spreadsheets, and being able to have a communication that's in the form of graphic, that's something that's visual. So we're excited to be able to share this. And I think, Antonio, if you're ready, we can go ahead and start the party.
Absolutely. So thank you, Ben. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining our AI Super Demo session.
For demo sessions, my name demo is sessions, my demo sessions.
Guys, there is an echo. So if someone, okay, perfect. So my name is Antonio Pagano, or AP, and I will be one of your guide for the next hour. Before we dive in, there is the good news. Today is 100% practical, zero theory, zero fluff, no jargon. And so we are working you through 5 real, as Ben said, impact AI workflows or use cases. Some tools are for personal use, some are for professional use, and the goal is opening this door in the ever evolving world of AI. Think this as a session as your new kind of a starting point. By the time we are done, you will be able immediately to apply this tool in your job, in your business, and in your productivity. So the framework is very, very straightforward. The engine is what we call LLMs, that stands for large language models. And these are basically the brains powering everything we'll do today. There is a technology that is used that is called NLP, natural language processing, that is basically the technology that help the model to understand the way we talk and reply in a way we understand. So Siri, Google, Alexa, and the modern chatbots are all large language models with natural language process. So this is the extent of the theory for tonight. Let's start with a quick intro before we start in. As I said, my name is Antonio, or AP, and I'm joined by Ben and Lorenzo, part of this AI superpower team. We
Antonio,
spent,
let me jump in real quick.
yes,
You're gonna share the graphic.
yes.
Let's put that one up because it's not showing quite yet.
Okay. Let's try again. Perfect. Thank you, Ben. I thought we were sharing it.
There we go.
All right. So let's start again. So we are the superpower team, as I said, and we spend hours. We spend all our time building AI real workflows and trying tools that you can use in everyday scenarios. A quick information about me: my background is in law, marketing, and business management, but for the past few years I've been focused on innovation and applied artificial intelligence. I work as consultant across AI, blockchain, and emerging technologies. And one of my passions is teaching. I teach at UCLA Extension and other international universities and business schools. I teach AI, automation, and blockchain. But that's enough about me. So Ben, Lorenzo, please introduce yourself.
So, my name is Ben Rodriguez, and welcome everyone. This is the welcome for the AI superpower. My name is Ben, like I said. My background is in construction. Um, it's also in lifetime entrepreneur, startup projects. Have been involved in developments and also in commercial real estate. And very excited about jumping into AI. This is a journey that started for me just under a year ago. And the more I jumped in, the more I wanted to learn more. My starting point is probably, uh, I will be able to empathize with many of you as a starting point because it always starts with curiosity. Our goal with not just tonight, but overall, is to dispel misconceptions. We're trying to show you some fun things that can be done with this technology. So, with that, we'll go ahead and continue. And I'm going to introduce also Lorenzo on the team.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Ben. My name is Lorenzo. So a little bit of my background. I have a background in chemistry and then as in data analysis, sorry. And after that, I started doing AI automations, and that's pretty much how eventually I started to talk with Ben and eventually with Antonio. And something the three of us agree is that, first of all, AI is amazing. It's evolving at a super fast pace, so it's very hard to keep track on all the tools and all the things that we can do with AI. So what we want to show to you, like in this presentation, are some examples of the technologies that are available right now, and we can do amazing things with them. So I don't know, it's very exciting, and we can just we can't wait to see what's next. No, because maybe in 1 month we will be talking about even more amazing stuff. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I will let Antonio continue.
No, absolutely. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Lorenzo. Before we continue, let me just be sure that we are sharing with audio because we have a little surprise. So let me be sure that I optimize for share sounds. Here we go. So perfect. Okay. And you can see my presentation.
Hi everyone, welcome. I'm Claudio, your AI superpower tutor for this class. I'm available 24/7, 365 days a year, unlike AP, Ben, and Lorenzo, who occasionally need sleep, coffee, and Wi-Fi. During this webinar, don't just watch, experiment, ask questions, break things, try again. And if you don't understand something the first time, don't worry, that's normal. I've been there too. The tools are powerful, but the real upgrade is how you learn to think with them. Let's build. I'm ready when you are.
Well, thank you, Claudio. This was a little surprise. And just to clarify, Claudio GPT is also my co-author on the book AI that you see on the slide, right? So it's the first book that I know that instead of using AI as a ghostwriter, I introduced this new character that basically became the co-author of this book. Claudio will stay with us for the entire presentation. You see that little assistant icon on the right. I will be asking him questions using him for clarifications in real time. You can also ask questions, right? So let's jump into real AI use cases. We introduce the topics, we introduce the team, so it's time to start. First, superpower number one, right? I always say my students, don't use Google, don't use AI, don't use ChatGPT like Google on steroids, right? So it's like having a Ferrari in the garage, but use it only for radio or listen to Spotify, because who is the radio anymore anyway? Power users, so start setting the rules of the conversation. So as I said, as Lorenzo said, and Ben said, AI is an incredible, powerful technology. And in reality, it's not one technology, it's a combination of different technologies. Machine learning is predictive analytics, is Internet of Things, right? But in this case, we are focusing on chatbots like ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, Gemini. So one of the best way to use this powerful tool is to set up a master prompt. What is a master prompt? Is basically providing custom instructions that you can apply to your chatbot to superpower it, right? It tells ChatGPT to give us a direct answer first, for example, then concise reasoning, and basically you are teaching and training the model the way you want. And the way we do is very simple. So I'm sharing my screen. You see, this is my ChatGPT browser version. I go on the lower left corner where my name is, and I click on settings. And in settings, many people never really open this. They've been using ChatGPT for months or years, never even know that there was a setting area. And we're only focusing on one settings tonight. That is the personalization. You see that you can change basically the style and tone of your ChatGPT. You can change in professional, friendly, candid, quirky, efficient, nerdy, cynical, right? We leave default. Again, we're giving you just pills and very applicable tools. You can also change the tone in, the warm. You can make it more default, right? Enthusiastic. But this is the custom instruction. So you see that in many cases, this comes empty. And what we are doing, we are using a prompt that I generated. That is the one that now I'm copying and pasting. And I'm also copying and pasting in the chat, so you can also do the same. So act as my direct, my expert assistant. Give a direct answer first, then concise reasoning, two alternatives and practical action plan. Be clear, structured, and non-vague. Match my tone. Make smart assumption if needed. And this is the most important part. Push your reasoning to 100% of your capacity. This is the real secret. So basically, we are superpowering our ChatGPT chatbots, right? From now on, you'll see that the answer, the replies of your ChatGPT will be different. So Ben or Lorenzo, if you can please copy and paste the prompt in the chat box, so in the conversation chat, so everybody can eventually use. Again, let me show you how you do. You open your ChatGPT at chatgpt.com, or in your app version, you go on your profile, settings, and then you go in personalization and in custom instruction. Now, the cool part is that you can also customize the chatbot to know more about you. So in my case, you see that my nickname is Antonio Repi. I tell the chatbot what I do, and I also explain more in details, right? So this is very interesting, because if I test, let's see how much ChatGPT knows about me. Hey, ChatGPT, what's up? How are you doing tonight?
Hey, AP. I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. Feeling ready to tackle whatever's on your mind tonight.
Hey, so
what's up on you?
So we're having here a cool conversation on AI superpowers, and I'm showing, how much you know about me. Can you tell our audience a little bit what I do, what you know about me?
Absolutely. So here's the scoop. AP here is a dynamic force in AI and marketing education. He teaches at UCLA Extension, consults globally, and writes about Bitcoin, AI, and all things cutting edge. He's big on innovation, holistic living, and challenging the status quo, always with a bit of wit and actionability.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Please stay tuned, because we may ask you more questions later.
I'm right here and ready whenever you need me. So go ahead, have fun with the audience, and just toss me a cue when you want a bit more AI flair.
Perfect. So this was superpower number one, right? The master prompt. Let's move on the second one. Let me share again my presentation. The second one is a funny one, but it's one of that, you know, everybody loves. So there is a tool, a free 100% tool from Google Gemini that is called Google Storybooks, where you can generate basically unique illustrated tales from a simple prompt, right? The cool part that you can also have the AI voice reading it, and you can download the PDF. So basically, you can have a new story every night, and you can, of course, customize based on your message. Right? So we have a couple of examples that we want to share with you, but you are going to love this one. So I'm opening Gemini. Gemini is a large language models from Google. Google has been, you know, very disruptive in the AI world. Is moving from the SEO business model to the generative AI, generative and agentic AI. So Gemini is one of the most powerful integrated tools, and the advantage of Google that has all this ecosystem with Google Drive, Gmail, and other tools, Google Sheets, Google, Doc, that are all integrated with these large language models, right? So if you go on gemini.google.com, one of the options is the storybook. So we have a couple of storybooks that we made, and one was basically create a short illustrated children's story about Ashley and Reggie that shows why helping with chores at home and practicing gratitude matter. Let me show you how we do. So we have the prompt. We simply copy and paste the prompt in the box, and we click submit. And basically in a few minutes, the chatbot is elaborating, understanding, and drafting the storybook. And we can show you the one we created this afternoon just to prepare, so you can see. Let's do this one.
And just a quick clarification.
Yes.
For some of the folks still wondering what a prompt is, it's just the fancy way of describing the command or the request that we're making of the LLM.
Yeah, absolutely. The prompting is the way we communicate. So the way we provide instructions, and there is a science and art behind prompting. There is prompting engineering, there is context engineering. Again, this is not for tonight. Tonight is just about practical, fun tools. And so I want to show you the one we created that I don't see here. I don't want to, let me just open a different one. I don't want to interrupt the flow while he's creating it.
So while Antonio's pulling up, we set this up kind of like the old school cooking shows where we have some of these that we had put together, but typically this storybook will come up in less than 5 to 6 minutes. But while we're here, this is an example of the same prompt that we used earlier. And it was basically, we put it together, we wrote it and said, hey, this is a cool topic. The idea here is teaching children about chores and the importance of doing chores in terms of the impact of the family, the responsibility, just really good values. And so we're going to show you here what this storybook looks like.
Yeah, and also we will see the difference between this one we generated in advance and the one we just created. Of course, the character will be not the same, but the message will be very similar, right? So as I said, the cool part that we can listen to it.
The thank you secret. Ashley and Reggie loved Saturday mornings. Their bedroom floor was a mountain of colorful blocks, shiny toy cars, and soft superhero capes. It was the perfect place for a grand adventure. In the hallway, Ashley saw Mom carrying a heavy basket of laundry. Mom looked a little bit tired as she wiped her forehead and headed toward the washing machine. Ashley went back to Reggie. "Mom does so much for us," she whispered. "She makes us breakfast and cleans our clothes. I want to say thank you, but I don't have a present to give her." Reggie looked at the messy room and then at his sister. A bright idea popped into his head. "Maybe we don't need a store-bought present," he said. "Maybe we can hide our thank you inside a secret mission." Their mission began right there. Ashley grabbed the toy bin, and Reggie started scooping up the blocks. They worked like a fast-moving team, making the floor clear and shiny again. Next, they crept into the kitchen. "I'll get the plates," Ashley whispered. "And I'll get the napkins," Reggie added. They moved very quietly, trying not to make a single clatter. Reggie saw a pair of his own fuzzy socks hiding under the sofa. Instead of leaving them there, he picked them up and marched them straight to the laundry hamper. He felt like a real helper. When Mom walked into the kitchen to start lunch, she stopped and gasped. The table was set beautifully, and the house felt calm and tidy. She looked around in wonder. "Did two little wood sprites help me today?" Mom asked with a giggle. She reached out and gave Ashley a giant, warm squeeze. "This is the best surprise. It makes my heart feel so full." Ashley and Reggie realized that gratitude isn't just a word you say. It's something you do. Every time they helped, they were saying thank you with their hands and their hearts.
So, and this is, you notice the consistency of the characters, right? This is something that generative AI changed a lot. At the beginning, you were not able to keep this consistency. But the cool part, as I said, you can download basically the file, and you can have a PDF that you can print, you can archive, you can create a library of stories that you can use and reuse. Now, while we are doing this, is loading, and now in a few seconds we'll be able to download the file.
And when we first saw this particular tool, there's so many places that sometimes you want to take a complicated message, and you can copy and paste something, a lesson, a topic that's online, and in the prompt area of this storybook section, you basically describe who your audience is, meaning it's, for children ages 5 to 10 or 9 to 12 or whatnot. And then you're able to let basically the generative AI aspect take over. Now, we specifically asked that it would create the story with Ashley and Reggie. You can do that as well. You can request certain customizations in your story. But this is an example of the storybook, and I think the other one that we started is probably ready as well.
Yes.
Here we go.
So it's a different style in the illustrations, but the same message.
And so, one thing to clarify, even from my personal experience, is when you create the prompt on this and it puts out the particular storybook, sometimes what I would do is I would download it because I really like this one, because every time, even though you use the exact same prompt, you can see here that it generates a whole different type of illustration. The message typically is the same, maybe a couple of the other names of the characters, but you can see the illustration and how they're delivering the message. It comes out. It's a difference. So that's something to also keep in mind. But to me, this is a fun tool. You literally, uh, when I did this personally and shared it with friends and family, they thought, hey, are you publishing? They were giving me that kind of feedback. I said, no, I'm just messing around. I'm trying out a new tool. And I think it's a wonderful way to communicate messages for some of our younger folks.
And some have like characters like animals. So I want to show you this one that we created. This case was like to explain the process, the democratic process of election. So the system created these characters with an eagle and the little lions or little cub, and
Yeah,
basically
the
the
prompt was
elephant.
the prompt was please explain the presidential election process in the US and be sure to use funny names like Antonio, Ben, Lorenzo, and Margarita. Be sure to use. So what was happening is that we decided, hey, let's explain the presidential process so that a child. So then it went ahead and did this storybook, and it was kind of funny that it actually used animals, but it made it fun, a different approach, and you get to customize this. You pick and choose what you like, what you don't like. You keep trying, and it comes out. But overall, this is a fun tool. So this is, if you think about it, let's go back 30 years. I mean, to put out, from scratch, sitting, on your computer in a matter of minutes, and to have a storybook is just unbelievable. So this is a wonderful tool.
Yeah, this is one of the wonder of generative AI. Again, this is a simple tool, but it shows the power of this technology can really customize in real time for free, literally for free. Something that will take only, I would say, not even years ago, but a few months ago, illustrators, creative, copywriters, just to put together a similar project. Okay, so I will move on the tool number 3, if is okay. We'll have time to ask some questions and go through some of your prompt in when we are done with our tools. So
This is the 2026 version of show and tell.
yes, exactly. So superpower number 3 is called instant engineering, right? This is really a superpower. The ability to build a functional application, an app or a website with zero code, what we call the vibe coding. So you don't need to know how to code in Python or any other language. You just talk, as I said, based on natural language processing. The AI understands exactly what you're asking and is able to deliver. So just describe, for example, create a fitness tracking dashboard or create a travel itinerary app for an upcoming getaway to Dallas, or create a dashboard for a law firm, right? So, of course, the opportunities are limitless, right? And there are tools like we just choose Base 44, Gemini, and Claude artifacts as examples. And I wanna stress that we are not affiliated to any of these organizations. We don't have any referral program. We are just sharing tools that we love. I've been using for years. I teach every day. And so our enthusiasm and our excitement is because we use these tools literally every day, right? So let me show you how it works. So we have a couple of prompts. One was a very simple one, as I said, create a travel itinerary app for an upcoming gateway to Dallas. Okay, so this is the simple prompt. So I go in Base 44, and the app that is a free app, right, is a freemium you can use. And then at some point, if you want to publish, if you want to go through publication on an iOS or Google Store, you need to pay. But this is totally free. So I just copy and paste my prompt, and I send it. So now
And,
you see that is understanding. Yes, Ben.
and it's a simple sentence that basically says, create a travel itinerary for an upcoming getaway to Dallas. I mean, how many of us have upcoming getaways to Vegas or San Francisco? Well, maybe not San Francisco, but other places. It's like, how many of us have these kinds of trips, and you want to be able to have. So the idea here is, we said, hey, what's a place that we can organize and put where we're staying at a hotel and our flight, and then where we're going to have lunch, where we're going to have dinner, and then the next day where we're getting a car rental. This is the idea: is you're able to have an app that's built for you. And so as off of that one sentence, which is a very simple prompt, you're going to see here in front of you, it's building out the idea and it's doing it with all the code for us. And that's what is wonderful here for you to see. So if you had not heard of Base 44 before tonight, now you're actually not only heard it, but you're going to see one of the things that it does. And what it does is on the left, Antonio is going to explain what you're seeing here on the left and what's happening on the right, of course.
On the left, you are seeing what is called thought process. So basically, the model is telling you, and is a way for the model to reinforce that is understanding the task, what is that is planning to do. So in this case, is defining the key features, trip overview, the day by day itinerary, and all the other features, is designing the language and the user interface. In this case, clean, modern, aesthetic, is even defining the color palette, right? Of course, sometimes you already have all these details in your prompt. We are using very basic, very high level prompts just to show you that the app is so intelligent that is able to make assumption and create these settings, right? So the components, trip header with the hero image, itinerary day cards, and now it's saying, okay, let me build this. And basically it's showing you the steps. It's also telling you what are the key features, what is the design, and is basically creating in real time, right? And you see that all this basically is keeping you on the building process. We, as we said, as in a cooking show, we already have the app that we create in advance, and here we go. So the app is published. This is a link that everybody can use actually, and basically you can customize. Right? You have a packing list that you can check mark.
And this is something I will interject here. I would have never thought of putting a packing list for a trip that's integrated as a tab for a itinerary app. I actually have another itinerary app that I've used over the last few years, and it doesn't have a packing list in it. The fact that it put that in, I was so impressed. And again, this is fully customizable. So you can add and delete items. It just put the template for you off of that single sentence prompt.
And you see that I just added an essential takeaway that is Mila and Luna, right? Bring with us. And the cool part that you can also edit and start over adding more details, right? So the itinerary, you can change, of course, the days. You can change what are, you see they're all editable. So it's a real functioning app. It's not a mock app, right? It's not a mock app that just show you the look and feel. It's actually an app that you can use. Imagine doing this for, again, a tracking app, for a dashboard, right? We have another one that I created for a fictional law firm. So basically I said, hey, this is the business model of a law firm, right? So as these attorneys, these associates, these paralegal, and making some assumptions, we basically build a dashboard that gives me the profit and loss. You see, I can change the assumption, the billable hours. I can change the projection. I can change the model starting date, right? The increase of the annual rate. So all these parameters can be for a medical facility, can be for a CPA business, right? It can be for everything. You can change the staffing. You can add a paralegal or a partner or an associate, right?
So Antonio, can I interject?
Please.
Please show the audience. Okay, they're looking at a dashboard here, kind of like you're showing them the pizza already made here. Okay, show them the ingredients in the spreadsheet. You started with a spreadsheet and then added that to the prompt. So if you could show them that, that's what's amazing because some of you that are in business, we're dealing with spreadsheets, we're dealing with numbers, we're dealing with financials, bank, income statements and whatnot. So this spreadsheet is what Antonio has, which you can see is nothing but numbers. and columns. And a lot of times, people that aren't very familiar with Excel or don't have a lot of experience with Google Sheets or whatnot, they'll look at all these numbers and they say, okay, what does this all mean? Like, speak to me in English. Can you tell me what these numbers mean in English? Well, what Antonio did with that Base 44 app is he took this spreadsheet, uploaded it into the prompt, and basically said, can you make a dashboard that takes all this information? And what you're seeing there is the finished product. So this is the spreadsheet here, and you can see it has all these tabs, and that's consistent. A lot of you that do work with spreadsheets, you can see that some of these tabs have, crazy numbers. It's just, it can be overwhelming for people that don't. It just looks like a bunch of numbers. Like, what does this all mean? So if you look at the finished product, which is that dashboard, that's how that dashboard was built using the same base 44 um, app maker that we're sharing with you.
And the cool part, thank you, Ben, this was perfect. The cool part is that I create this spreadsheet with a large language model. So they are not real data. I ask the model, hey, create a mock data in Google Sheets or in Excel, because I want to create a model, a business model app for a fictional law firm. So the model made an assumption there are 3 partners, 8 associates, 4 paralegal. This is the hourly rate. This is the salary that, of course, goes up from paralegal to partner. This is the annual bonus. This is the billable hours, the utilization rate, the realization rate, the collection rate, the benefits load, and, again, the scenario with different revenue model, and basically all these complicated numbers, of course, that are simplified in Excel spreadsheet or in Google Sheet. They can come from your system of records. They can come from a JSON file, right? If you don't want manually upload, but all these are basically becoming a usable, easy to read dashboard. You see that basically you have the scenarios, you have the expenses and income, and you can even export the data in Excel, CSV file, even Python code, a JSON export. So this is mind-blowing. Again, to create an application of this type with the functionality, with the UI, UX, with the good look and usability, you will need a programmer, you need a designer, you need someone that knows how to code in Python, in R, in X, whatever language you're using. But the fact that you can do just with a simple prompt, create for me a dashboard for my law firm, and again, just an example, can be any type of business, I think is unbelievable. Let's look at the one that we just create together. This is the one that we create right now. Let's publish it. And let's see how it looks. Basically, now if I copy and paste this link, as simple as copy and paste, this is the new app that we created right now together. Let's be sure I'm connected. So Dallas Gateway, 3 days, and there is another one in different dates. Oh, there are 2 days of the same. Add activity. You can add, you see that is different than the one we showed, but also this one is fully customizable, right? Add packing list, right? Add item. So in this case, it didn't give us a pre-made one, but gave us categories, right? So let's say that I want other, and I say Mila and Luna because they need to come with us. And you see that basically right now I have added an item and I can check mark, right? So basically this shows that is usable. Now you see that here there's a little glitch. So the header is overlapping. So in my follow-up prompt, I will say, hey, we don't need to do this. But if I want, I say, hey, I notice that the header, and if I make a misspelling, it's also okay, because again, understand through NLP what I'm saying. The header is overlapping the functionality. Fix it, right? So now the app, see that is basically going back, thinking, understanding what I'm saying, and now reworking basically the app. Of course, I can add a new trip, etc. So Ben, what do you think? Should we move to the next one?
I think we can move forward. Obviously, this is again, the purpose of tonight is just to give just a little introduction. You learn by trial and error. And then, of course, later on, we'll share with you, we're having deep dive workshop master classes in many of these particular tools. But for tonight, this is, I think, a great introduction. Let's go to the next item.
Perfect. So superpower number 4, what I call instant creation. So, and the last few tools are, I would say, one of my top 5 AI tools that I've been using for years. They keep adding functionalities, features, and I love them. So this one basically is a tool that allows you to create presentations, documents, social media posts, website in, I would say, seconds. So imagine you have, as Ben said at the beginning, a 90-page report and need a presentation deck, I would say, in 30 seconds. I know it sounds like crazy, but this is what Gamma does. So what you do, you can upload your PDF, or you can copy and paste the URL of a website or a document, or you can just prompt the same way we did with the Base 44, and you get like that a beautiful visual deck. You need to change the language in Thai or in Spanish, one click. You want to change the look and feel, one click, right? So let me show you how it works, right? So we have Gamma, and you go in gamma.app. There are different gammas, so be sure that you use this one. Again, we are not affiliated. I have a paid subscription because I love it, but I also use constantly. So I log in, and you see, let me just show you that how many Gamma presentation I have. This is just some, and you see I have different folders, and basically there are different ways we can create. So we are showing you a few. One is as simple as a prompt. So we go in create new, right? And you can generate from one line prompt that I will show you in a second, or you can copy and paste. You have like a document, you have a report, you have an essay, you have something that you already developed in another environment. You can just paste, copy and paste in Gamma, or you can generate from a template. You are looking for inspiration, you need something that you don't even know what are you developing, and you can do that too. Or you can import a file, like we also will import a PDF or a URL, like a website, right? Or a published document. So Ben, if you want to add anything, I'm just copying and pasting a simple one.
Let's do the Nike annual report.
Perfect.
Okay, so Antonio's going to pull this up. This is the 2025 Nike annual report that they put out last year. This is a 102-page PDF file. Okay. It's, got some really nice photos, and it's got all the information of all the different businesses, the Jordan brand. I didn't even know that Nike owns Converse. And so, as you can see here, we pulled that from the Nike website, and you can see it's 102 page. Now, the idea here is we're always being bombarded with lots of data, lots of information. So Gamma is a tool that allows us to digest the important highlights of this data, because nobody has time to, unless you are in the business, nobody has time to go through all 100 pages of these documents. So what we're going to show you here is how you take, in this case, you can download the file and upload it directly into Gamma, or in this case, we have the direct web link to the PDF file. So either one works, and Antonio is going to continue to show you how this gets done.
Yeah, and absolutely. And in this case, this is a 10K. So this is a formal document that Nike and all the public company need to publish quarterly for their stakeholders. So it's even the language is complex and there's a lot of technicalities. So let's see how Gamma not only will create a presentation, but will make easier to understand, visually appealing. So let's do the both. So first of all, I copy the link. This is a URL, right? Copy. I go in Gamma and I say import file or URL, and I just import from URL. As simple as that. Import. It's because this one is behind a, okay, I know why. Because it's behind a paywall. Okay, let's just download the document. Because I'm using the extension, basically is the extension in Chrome, so it's not really recognizing it, but it's the same. But we can do now. We have the PDF, right? So instead of importing, we import the file. In this case, browse files, and is in downloads and is in Nike. Here we go. So now again, will work exactly the same if I was not using the URL that is in Chrome, right? I should need use the regular URL. So it's importing the 102 pages. And now I'll show you in a second what you can do basically with the settings, right? You can say generate, condense, elaborate, expand. Basically, you can even ask the large language models behind Gamma to elaborate, not just make visually appealing. We also have Amazon, so we can also try with Amazon.
We have the Amazon annual report. And as Antonio's putting this together, here's what's amazing is if you imagine that you're going to be getting ready for a meeting or a presentation and you're putting a presentation together, you're going to see what we do here. But if you have even somebody that their natural language is not English and you need to also create a same presentation on the fly in Spanish or French or in German or Farsi, this will create the same type of presentation that it's doing in whatever original language. So it's basically interpreting the Nike annual report and creating a presentation in German on the fly. So this is the functionality of AI, is that it allows you to communicate this information, but then be able to distribute it in multiple languages. So let's go ahead and continue.
Yeah, and as I said, it's not just presentation. You can create a web page, basically a landing page or a website, a document, or social. In this case, let's proceed with the presentation. Now you see that basically the system is asking us, do you want to generate, condense, or preserve? Let's say that you have something that you really need to be precise. You don't want the AI to make mistakes, hallucination, or bias, right? So in this case, we want condense, and we want to make concise, right? Just to use an idea. Now, for the visual, you can have the standard. You have basically a choice of standard templates. There are several, like for example, for Nike, I will use this one. It sounds modern. Or I have custom. So these are the custom models that I created, right? Let's keep use the standard one. Select theme, and you can change the model at any time, even after it's generated. In a click, you can change if it doesn't look the way you want. You can also choose the image source, so you can leave automatic or use stock photos, web images, AI images, illustration, GIFs, don't add images or only accent images, and you can choose the image art style. Ben, which one would you like to use for Nike?
Let's make it a photo.
Okay.
Okay. And I like the AI images. We'll do auto select. And how about let's make it like a corporate one.
So we can also add keywords, basically to specify the way we want the presentation. Corporate, sleek, easy to understand, yet professional, right? The
Excellent.
format, we can change the format. Again, we can be presentation, web page, document, social. And you can also choose the classic, that is the one we're using, or the studio one that is using more credits, right? So now you can also add additional instructions, and you can choose a free form or card by card, right? Card by card, basically we are telling the number of slides or cards, and we are telling which one in which content in which slide. Or free form basically is more for website. The AI is elaborating the content without a fixed parameter. We go card by card, and we go free form, and we go 15 cards. You can go up to 55 with the paid subscription. So 60 is the maximum. Okay, let's do 15 just for sake of time.
The free subscription or the free account will limit you to 10 cards for the
Yes.
presentation.
Yes. And you can also add additional instruction, right? But in this case, we generate. Now what Gamma is doing is elaborating the content, in this case, the Nike 10K document, and creating an outline and telling you this is the outline, and here we go, I'm creating the presentation.
So this is the part that is really something else. As you know, if you've ever been in the past putting a PowerPoint presentation together from scratch, you feel the pain, putting that thing together. For me, it was like a bunch of all-nighters having to get the graphics and the photos, and this didn't. And this starts, it's basically taking 102-page document and saying, these are the highlights that we're going to put in this presentation. And again, I use this because sometimes I want to better understand something that's being explained to me or that I need to prepare for. And so I will prepare a gamma presentation for myself. So I can then read through the highlights, and the AI engine is able to pick and choose what is the particular information that's relevant for me to be prepared from that document.
And of course, you can customize, you can add logos, you can change the colors, you can change every image. Look, this is an AI image generated, right? With the logos, there is, even the logo looks good. Distribution channels, so the graphic, company profile. And for example, as there is an echo. Okay, perfect. So I can hear myself. Okay,
We
perfect.
got it now.
Okay, perfect. So let's say that I want to change this image, and I say replace this image with something more corporate. So now the agent, that is the large language models that is underneath, under the hood of Gamma, is understanding and editing the card. So I'm applying the same concept of vibe coding, that basically is I'm speaking my natural language to tell the model to do something. And now you see that in a few seconds, is editing automatically the card.
So it's great because you can edit card by card or slide by slide. You can edit with the AI agent that basically you just tell it, change this sentence to this, and it'll replace it. You don't even have to do it yourself. Um, and Antonio, if we change the background to like a white, let's say we want to change the style to like a white background, this is how it's done.
Here we
Boom.
go.
Just like that.
In a second. Or we want to change in something, different.
And we could go on and on about customization in terms of this presentation, but I think you wanted to show them off of a prompt creating a presentation without
Yes.
without even uploading a file.
Absolutely. So we go back here, we go in create, and we found something funny, right? We show the 10K of Nike, that's something, financials heavy. Let's do something funny. Create new, create from a one-line prompt, and this is what we create. Explain the history of pizza margherita, right? So very clear, very basic, 10 cards, generate outline. Now the system is telling me what is thinking to add to each slide, right? In literally in seconds. I will use, let's use minimal in terms of style. Let's use illustration, right? Because I want something more graphic, right? And I can say, make it fun and engaging. Okay. So now if I'm okay with this, of course I can change the order of the slides. I can change the content of each slide, so I can totally customize every part, right? Or I can say regenerate the outline. Let's say that I don't like at all. Instead of modify, I can say the AI regenerate. But let's say that we like it. The history of pizza margherita, royal legend and culinary icon. Let's see now what is the results. I think we should change the theme. Let's use my custom one.
So again, this off of a sentence, just like you saw in base 44, we just put a sentence and we said, hey, do this. And the idea is it's going through and doing the research of the actual history of the pizza margarita. Okay, and so we have our certified Italian over here that's able to confirm that, but it's putting the presentation together. It's showing it from a graphical standpoint. You literally, if we needed to go like right now, we could download this, print it out, and jump in our vehicle and go to a meeting and share this if we wanted to, or email it.
You can download in as PDF, as Google Slide, or PowerPoint. So basically you can then, or you can import in Canva, for example, and edit, right? So to fully 100% editable either in the system or outside the system.
And what was the other gamma that we were talking about, Antonio?
Well, it was create a presentation on the story of Ferrari cars. So let me show
Okay.
you the two that, first of all, the one we created this afternoon, I think was even cooler than this one. So let me show you how it looked. I think it came out even better.
And this one was actually in Italian.
Yes, we create in Italian just to say that, like to show that there is a multi-language, right? I don't know if you guys are aware that the colors comes from the tomato, the mozzarella cheese, and the basil. There are the colors of the Italian flag that this guy that invented this pizza created for the Queen Margherita from France, right? That was visiting. And Pizzeria Brand is actually the real pizzeria that actually is still in Naples and invented the pizza margherita. And it's cool because, as I said, it's in Italian, and this is Ben's favorite pizza that would be totally, shame for every Italian. That is, the classic Hawaiian pizza that we call Pizza Ben or Beniamino, right?
Yeah, they were rebelling against me asking for the Hawaiian pizza, but they named it Pizza Beniamino when we were in Italy. So again, so you saw that example. Real quick, can we show them just a quick, if you did the Ferrari one on the fly
Yes.
and
So
prepare it in Spanish?
we can say to the agent, translate in Spanish. So now you'll see that basically the system will be editing card by card in real time. So this is the history or story of a Ferrari, right? That we created literally with one prompt. And now the system is changing, already did actually, in Spanish.
Pretty much on the fly. That's an extra card that we added, and we said, hey, put a card that shows the Ferrari being used by policemen in Dubai.
And you can change the layout literally with one click. So you can put the image on the side or behind, or no image. You can resize the image if it's too big. So basically, it's super customizable. Again, one prompt, but then you have a lot of
One
chance
prompt.
to customize.
One
And
prompt. And
okay,
you'll be able to get information. You all are coming across information, and all of a sudden somebody says, hey, I need to present something at church this coming Sunday, and we're going to create a Bible story. You can take verses from the Bible, create a presentation in a matter of minutes.
and
Okay.
actually, I asked the Gamma to translate in Chinese, but I assume it's correct because I don't really have this ability to understand. But
There you go.
here we go.
They
Okay,
want it,
so
they want it translated to Farsi.
and this is one very interesting. There is another way to create. We did this one. This is the greatest story ever told. Jesus for kids that we created also as an example. You see that's very, very, graphically appealing and very cool. And basically also is one simple prompt.
And you'll notice a similarity with something like this with the Google Storybook. So in this type of a situation, the Google Storybook, you give the prompt and then it creates the storybook. And then here we gave it a similar prompt. Hey, can you create a story about Jesus Christ for children? And it created that prompt. Lorenzo, you had a question?
Yeah, more than a question, it was we have a couple of requests. First, as Men mentioned, like if we can translate one in Farsi, and Reggie's asking, just out of curiosity, that if it could translate it in the language of Klingon, an actual language, apparently.
I'm not sure.
We can see if that's in the drop down.
Can you let's check? Can you put in the chat the language?
It's in the chat. It's
Klingon. Okay, let me try. Let's try to ask if we can change this one in from Chinese. So I go on the agent and I say translate
To
in
Klingon.
Klingon. I'm not able to translate content into Klingon. Klingon is a construct language from Star Trek. And while it has a dedicated community of speakers, I don't have reliable translation capabilities for it. So sorry, no Klingon in the house.
At least we tried, Reggie.
Yeah.
We tried. No, and I was very quickly, just to move on to the next one. I was showing you the same way we did the greatest story ever told. I did one because, as you know, my passion is Bitcoin. The mystery of Bitcoin, who is Satoshi Nakamoto, of course, this is also targeted to children, right? And I think you can see how consistent is the layout, the message, very visually appealing.
Yeah, it's to be able to put this out in just a matter of minutes is just.
And the last thing that I want to show you, I even created my website with Gamma. So this website that you can basically check is antoniopagano.io or .us has been created with Gamma. So if I go on my website, so I created this one in a few hours and is a fully published, I attach my domain website.
Yeah.
So it's not just for funny project, but I use for, for teaching, I use for consulting, I use for my website, I use for brainstorming. Basically, I use for everything. And the website is a very, very cool example because normally you need to either use WordPress or you need to pay someone to create or use Wix. But, this is a great tool also for website. Okay. Ben, I will move to the next one, and then we can go for some, customized prompt if someone has any ideas.
Yes, let's go ahead and do that. So let's go for
Okay.
the
Superpower number 5, I would say probably is my favorite, even if I should not choose favorites here. It's called Notebook LM. And is another of the incredible tools of the Google AI Studio. Google has a suite of tools, right? The Storybook, the Nano Banana image generation are all tools of this suite. Notebook LM is one of, I would say, top 3 AI tools right now. So I use it constantly for research, synthesis, teaching, and when I want to really transform something in something that I need to learn and understand very quickly. It doesn't just generate answers, basically helps you think with your own sources. The difference between a regular chatbot or large language models like ChatGPT or Gemini or Perplexity or Claude and Notebook LM only uses the sources, the data that you provide or you validate or you approve. Let me show you how this is a real game changer. So if you go on notebook, lm.google.com, you can see how many notebook I have. And this is just one account, right? Okay, so we, as example, we use the annual report from Amazon, that is the one here. So we use Nike and we use another, of the top 7, the Magnificent 7, right? So what we did, we went to Notebook and we imported only one document, right? So you can do in several ways. You can use the deep search. For example, you can say research this topic, research stem cells to cure cancer, research quantum physics, research fasting for health, whatever topic you want. So the model goes online and find you several sources. You have fast research or deep search, and then you can validate and decide which sources you want to use. Or you can do your research on your own, or you have a document already. For example, when I teach my class, sometimes I upload my weekly presentation and I create extra content. So in this case, this is the source. You see that the system already gave us a recap. Now, this is the cool part. With the studio panel, you can create audio overviews. So you can create these 2-voice podcasts between 2 hosts that discuss the topics. You can create a brief, so a short audio explanation of the topic, a critique, or you can create a debate where one host is supporting one point of view and the other host the opposite one. And of course, you can customize. You can say focus on this part of the topic or more on this aspect. So let's go with the deep dive. So in this case, we already generated some of these cool. Then you can create a video. So basically an explainer, and I will show you how it works. Basically, is a video with audio and animation that explain you that topic. You can choose the style. You can choose if it's an explainer or if it's a short one, a brief, and the style of images. And also here you can customize. You can create a mind map that basically is a visual representation of a topic that is very quick. You can create specific reports. So create your own, a briefing doc, a study guide, again, if you're learning something, a blog post, or the system, you see that is loading suggestions based on the topic that you are asking, is recommending you specific formats. In this case, strategic operational framework, executive market analysis, leadership principle primer, business model breakdown. Let's go with this one. So if I click, is immediately generating one. You can also create flashcards to see if you are understanding or if you learn about the topics. Let's go standard, medium difficulty. You can create a quiz on that topic, right? Let's also generate the standard one. And this is one of my favorite, the infographic. Basically, you have 3 level of details: concise, standard, or detailed. And you can change the orientation. So let's just choose standard for now. You can also decide the focus, or for example, include Amazon logo and other brands part of the group, right? Just let's see if is adding, for example, all food, etc. Right? Generate. Now, as every good cooking show, we already have some of these items created. This is the mind map. They start with Amazon 2024 with the basic, and explode with the financial reports, with the basic data, the business segment and innovation. And you see that there are branches that you can expand. So I created the mind map the old way. It took me hours or days to create something that was really valuable. We created it literally in seconds. The why culture, again, it took 100 pages document, technical document, and create something that is super easy to understand. And basically you can download this mind map in PDF, right? This is one example. The other examples are the flashcards. These are the ones that generated. What was Amazon total revenue in 2024? And what was the year-over-year growth percentage? I have no idea because I didn't read it. But if I want the answer, I just click, and you can move to the next one. Right? This is a perfect way to figure out if you are mastering that topic. Now, this is one of the infographic. I think they're the most amazing, outcome are the infographics. Let's see what they create. This is the simple one, right? Amazon 2024 in review, performance and principles. Now let's look at the other infographics, more detailed. Driven by why, that's actually part of their philosophy. And look inside Amazon 2024 success. This one you see is much more detailed. Let's look at this one. Simple, but very well done. Again, you can keep generating infographic, right? Also, let's look at the presentation. Now, this one is the presentation, so that you can basically download or present directly from here. So let's.
So this is a form of a PowerPoint type of deal.
Yes. So you see that from that document, you create graphics, analyze the text, generate graphs. I mean, it's unbelievable. Consistent, good quality, visually appealing,
And
from one document.
and what you saw is all of those different items, like this presentation that Antonio had created. It's able
I'm
to
sorry,
be.
but you've hit the daily limit for advanced voice.
Oh, that's our fourth presenter here. But you can also, again, as a reminder, if you're presenting something or you're needing to put the summary together, you pick the language that you want that report or that PowerPoint or the graphic. So if you want it in Spanish, you need that in Tagalog. Someone's coming from the Philippines. You pick that language and it'll create the output. And that's, to me, is just amazing.
And this is the PDF that I just downloaded. Right? Now, unfortunately, you cannot edit in Notebook LM, but you can import in other tools and edit. Now, let's look at the other assets. So this is the presentation we just looked. Let's look at the other one. This is another presentation, different style, you can see here. Again, with one prompt in a few minutes. I think it's unbelievable. And then we can create a video overview. These are the reports, by the way, that we created. Now, is in video overview, you can, again, choose which style you want, auto-select. Let's go brief. And now you see that it's being created in real time, generating a video overview.
And so sometimes
$38 billion?
oh,
Yeah,
there it
but
is.
the real
Yeah,
Okay.
sometimes when you want to listen, you want to listen to the report because you're driving and you don't have a chance to even see anything. This is the excellent tool here to listen to the actual summary.
So today we're going to dive into a document that, let's be honest, usually works as a pretty good sedative.
The annual report.
Exactly. Amazon's 2024 annual report.
Yeah.
But we're looking at it because it honestly reads less like a financial statement and more like a whole philosophy.
It really does. But, I mean, before we even get to the philosophy, you just can't ignore the numbers. The revenue hit, what, $638 billion?
Yeah, but the real story, the headline for me was the operating income.
Okay, now this is the cool part. You can even interact with the two hosts. Look at this. So I click interactive, and now so they are speaking, right?
So today we're going to dive into a document that, let's be honest, usually works as a pretty good sedative.
The annual report.
Exactly. Amazon's 2024 annual report.
Oh, hey, welcome. What's up?
Hey, Ben, do you want to ask a question?
Yes, let's
Oh,
see.
back to our listener. What's up?
Was there an income report for Whole Foods in the sales numbers?
Oh, hey, welcome in.
Absolutely. We love the interjections and questions.
That is a fantastic and specific question.
You're asking about Whole Foods, which is part of the physical stores segment.
And yes, that revenue is included in the big numbers we're looking at.
The report breaks out sales by different groups.
The sales from their physical stores hit $21.2 billion in 2024.
That's up from $20 billion in 2023.
Now, they don't give us separate operating income for just Whole Foods.
But those physical store sales are included in the overall North America segment.
That North American segment where the Whole Foods revenue lives saw its operating income jump substantially.
Absolutely.
So I don't know if you realize what happened. So from a document, it created these two voice, like a real podcast with human intonation and empathetic language. And not only is pre-made, but we can ask questions. So the AI is able to understand that Ben asked a question specifically on all food and retrieve the data and retransform in natural language and answer the question. I think it's just unbelievable, right? And so let's, these are all the assets. And again, you can go through and set every asset. I just want to show you the video when it's ready in a few seconds. And again, this is a totally free tool, notebooklm.google.com. And you can start from scratch. Let me show you another example. If I want to use the research, Ben, do you have any idea, or Lorenzo, any idea of a topic we want to research?
I would say, what if I want to start my own food truck business?
So you see, I'm using fast research is kind of faster. I also can use deep research, right?
And let's
So-
let's specify also in San Diego, so it can also specify parameters for the city of San Diego.
Okay, so now you see that the system is researching online. We're not uploading a source. Is the system finding for us the source related to that query or that topic? So I found 10 sources to start, and I can go and check each of these, right? So if I click on each link, I see what these sources are. How to obtain a permit for a mobile food truck. This one is San Diego trucks, best San Diego food truck. So basically they are all relevant, right? Some are websites, some are PDFs. This one says, County of San Diego, prepackaged compact mobile food operation plan submittal package. So it's telling you also the regulation. Let's say that we are okay with all these sources, right? We can import them. Now the notebook is learning from these sources that I vetted, that I approved. Either I import it directly or ask the system to find, is summarizing it, and now I can create all the asset that I showed you. So let's create the standard one without editing anything. I'm just clicking on this one. You can even create data table and export in Google Sheet. That is just incredible. Let's start with the fastest one, that is the mind map. So I start with the California and San Diego food trucks regulation and goes to vehicle regulation, healthy and safety with the permitting, insurance needs, San Diego specifics. And you see that basically you can go in details of each of these area. Again, with one query, tell me how to start a food business in San Diego. Right?
Rapid information. And again, I did something similar like this for a family member who needed this information, but as you're going to see, all of it's in English, and she doesn't speak English very well. So I was able to take a lot of these sources and then export the sources that were in English, these websites, all these PDF documents, and then send to her in the form of a presentation and a podcast in Spanish and a video in Spanish. That all of a sudden, when she was able to listen to the podcast and listen to the video or watch the video and then see the PowerPoint presentation, she was able to understand the process. And so again, it was a way that I was able to take something in English, export it in Spanish, so that it's almost like, hey, instead of me translating and sitting down with you, let me have this do all the work and send it to you. You sit down, watch the video, listen to the podcast, and at the end of the day, she was informed in a matter of minutes.
And the data table, you see, I can export in Google Sheet as I did here. So I have immediately San Diego food truck directory and regulatory information in one spreadsheet, literally with one click, right? Now let's look if the other assets are ready. So we have this is the blog post. If I want to write a blog post like on this specific topic, unbelievable, ready. The flashcards. What types of approval is required for a mobile food truck to operate on public right of way in city of San Diego? Mobile food truck permit, right? Then there is the quiz. Go ahead, Ben.
The flashcards and the quiz, obviously, if you are an educator and you're looking to take topics and create, again, presentation that you're using and then include study guides, quiz, and flashcards, that's how those flashcards and quizzes become very appropriate and they help out a lot.
Or if you are trying to learn a new topic and you want to test yourself, right? It's still generate. Okay, generate the first infographic. As you can see, based on 10 sources. Rolling in San Diego, food truck startup guide. I mean, you can publish these on your LinkedIn, profile or, on your website. You can write an article with a perfect infographic that looks like a graphic designer just created for you. Right? I think very, very cool. I like the San Diego vibe here, right?
Oh, yeah.
Let's see if the other one are ready. While we are waiting for these quick assets, should we start with a few Q&A?
Yeah, I don't know if there's any questions.
Like you can write the questions on the chat, and then we can go and answer them one by one. Okay.
Okay, someone is asking, provide an example of how it can be used as a sandbox for student in Canvas. I think it's a great question from Homa. Actually, I use a lot of these tools. Not, for example, notebook. What I do, I have a specific notebook a folder in Canva. Basically, are all the assets that are generated by notebook. So the presentation that is adding to the one that I created, the video presentation, the two voice podcast, the flashcards. Basically, you can download all the assets. You can also share. This is the cool part. You can share the entire notebook. So if you go here, you do share here. Basically, you can share even with an intro welcome note. For example, Homa, what you can do, you can put a welcome note says, welcome to week 5 with the topic of blah, 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 right? And then you can give access to the entire notebook to everybody with the link or just to everybody or just people with the link, right? And you can share the full notebook or the chat only. So the chat only is the way you interact with the chat bots, right? In this case, full notebook, and you can basically share the entire asset with your students. So the way I will do, and I've done, creating a specific folder with all the assets that I downloaded, plus a link that they can interact. For example, what is the most challenging issue to start a food truck business in California? And specifically in San Diego. So basically, I can chat and interact. Not only I can create all the asset, but I can chat with the LLM that is only referring to these sources that I uploaded or I vetted. See, analyzing the California regulation, extracting, and now is basically only answering based on this document. So we avoid hallucinations or biases, etc.
Antonio, we have another question from Mike Gomez. Is when you upload documents to AI platforms, are they secure?
That's a great question. Well, one of the rule in AI is that when you are using a service that is free, it's not really free. You are, if you're not paying for a service, most likely you are the service. So there are a lot of policies of these organizations that ensure you that they are not using the documents to train the model. There are also some security, settings that you can change. So technically, they say that is not training the model. They're not sharing. In reality, we don't know if they use or not. My recommendation, if their data really private or there is a security concern, use a local LLM on your machine and not services that are cloud or web-based.
And a local LLM is something that we go into because that's more of a deep dive. When we go into our masterclass, we discuss more in detail about setting up a local LLM for secure reasons.
Absolutely. And meanwhile, we have the presentation here that I can share. For some reason it's not letting me. Okay, let's do this way. So you can see that it came out really, really good. It even give you the strategic location and zoning compliance, the build and base. I mean, great graphic, really.
This is good off of a single prompt. Again, it's creating all this information and it can be in multiple languages. Antonio, we have a question from Neil.
From Neil.
Yes, let me look at the question.
He's gonna actually, he's gonna actually speak it into existence.
That's
Can,
great.
all right, guys. This is fantastic, by the way, Antonio. So I know that the examples you were giving earlier were showing the basic capabilities, but going through some of the examples, like can you ask it to make Ashley and Reggie twins? You know, that they come from a blended family, they live in an apartment. You know, they have carpeted floors. I mean, does it allow the
Yes,
storyline?
absolutely. Absolutely. You can
Okay.
go in every details you want. What is not guaranteed is the consistency of the characters. So if you run the same prompt over and over, you most likely you will have a different like layout, but you can definitely ask details. Actually, normally when we teach prompting engineering or context engineering, we want a very detailed prompt. We're using a very generic, very high level prompt to show that the model are able to perform even when we don't provide good context or good details, right? So imagine how good they are performing when you are more specific and you add more details. So to answer your question, 100% can. We can even try. If you type in the chat all what you said, I can just copy and paste, and we can rerun the storybook for you.
And the same thing then with that Dallas itinerary, right? You could say my 3-day trip, but I don't want any museums or vegetarian restaurants or travel outside of a 2-mile radius, and it would use that information as well.
Absolutely. That's why what I said is based on natural language processing. So it's able to understand what we are saying and translate in command or in code or in something that is visually appealing and understandable from us. So 100% yes.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So meanwhile, we have also, I think the video is still generating, but we have the podcast.
Yeah. And we also have another question from Homa.
Okay, so picture this for a second.
She's asking,
Saturday afternoon.
One second. I just want to see how started the
sun is out. You're at a street fair, or maybe just turning a corner downtown, and you get hit with that smell. You know, the one sizzling onions, maybe the smoky char of al pastor, or that sweet, heavy.
Okay, sorry, Lorenzo. I was curious to see how it was fantastic.
That's okay.
So by sharing the link, will the students
exactly.
or the recipient of the link have access to change content? Good question. That's a great question. No, they can only use the model, but they cannot change it. It's the same way you can use a custom GPT, that is another of the advanced tools that we discuss in a more advanced class, but you cannot change the settings or the training. So they can see all the assets if you allow them to see the assets, so all the podcast, video presentation, infographic, mind map, and they can chat. The same way I was chatting with this one, asking what is the most challenging issue to start a food truck business in California. They can chat, but they cannot change these documents here, the sources. This is only up to you, up to the person that created Notebook LM.
And I think we're gonna probably move forward because we're looking at the time here.
Yes.
And
I just want to show Ben very quickly the video because we haven't shown any video.
That's right. We haven't shown the video.
This one is the video that created literally from one prompt.
So you've got this dream, right? Being your own boss, serving up amazing food under that beautiful San Diego sun. Well, if that sounds like you, you are in exactly the right place. We're going to break down how to make that food truck dream a reality.
Does this look familiar? You, right in the middle of all the action, making incredible food.
Here's the single most important thing to remember. The city of San Diego is all about your location, where you're allowed to park and sell your food. But the county of San Diego, they care about
skipping
the level of detail they expect. They need to see every angle, top, front, left, right, to make sure your layout is safe, easy to clean, and efficient before you even start building.
This table comes directly from the county's guide, and it shows the exact...
Okay, just to show you how incredible is also a video that generated from, again, one prompt, research all the documents, all the sources, and created a video that is a combination of copy, presentation, audio, video, and everything together.
Yeah.
Okay,
Amazing.
so I think we are wrapping up. And so this is the point where let me share my presentation. So we just went through 5 basic tools. Some are more for personal, some are for professional. Imagine there are hundreds of these tools. And we said, this is the simple equation. Superpowers plus your workflow in AI mode, you have hundreds of hours saved per month. So this is basically was just our way to give you a taste of these tools, a way to open that door and say, hey, AI is not just ChatGPT. Stop using ChatGPT as Google on steroid just to ask questions. AI is much, much, much more. So I think that there are no more Q&A, if I'm Lorenzo, if I don't mistaken.
Yeah, I think
Well, there's one, but
we're gonna
Thomas asking
be
like, yeah.
we're gonna be sending a recording of tonight's presentation, so that's gonna be sent out because there were lots of folks that wanted to or signed up and were not able to join, but they're going to also they wanted to have a chance to view the recording. And then what we want to do is kind of give you all a chance to not only look at this information, but also share with your friends, share with your colleagues. We were just looking at one of the recent Gallup polls that was coming out that less than 30% of professionals in this country are using AI on a daily basis, and just under 50 use it several times a year. This is a tool that's not going away. AI is not going away, and the tools that are being created are they really enhance your ability for efficiency and productivity. And so what we've done is we've prepared an upcoming masterclass, and we're going to share that with you. The masterclass is going to be set up for February. It's going to be on a Thursday in English, and we're also going to have a masterclass in Spanish. Okay, because there's folks that want to learn obviously in both languages. It's going to be broken up in two-hour sessions. And later on, we'll circle back with you because we want to be able to get your feedback. Our initial thinking is to be able to have the class start at 7, and it would go, the first part would be 2 hours. And then, of course, the following Thursday, there's going to be some homework and whatnot. And then the following Thursday is the second half of the master class, which would be an additional 2 hours. Same thing on the 21st is actually going to be a Saturday. It's going to be a Saturday master class in Spanish, and then the following Saturday as well. It's going to be a one-time fee of just under $300, and that's out the door. And so we're going to go ahead and also send you the link to the website where you can make that purchase. This for us, we're as a team just want to share with you, we are not only interested in education. Part of what we've already started to do is a lot of businesses and business owners are contacting us and saying, hey, I'm understanding this, I'm studying this. There's no way I could do AI implementation into my company. So we're offering that consulting service too. That's one of the things that we do as well. And that's, Lorenzo and his team of technical engineers work alongside with us, and we're able to provide solutions that help businesses that basically take steps and say, hey, I need to integrate automation, I need to integrate workflows into my business step by steps. So we are able to provide that as well. And as a complementary item for the business owners is to be able to set up a customized analysis for search engine optimization. So what you're seeing here is the website. You're able to sign up. We'll send all the
Mhm.
information along with the recording of the actual class. But it's been a pleasure for us to be able to share with you a little bit about what we've been up to in this journey, learning. Antonio is the one that's been studying for some time. Lorenzo also has been amazing, him and his team of technical proficiency. but we just wanted to share some of these tools with you. And I'll go ahead and let Antonio continue. But from us, we want to thank you for your time, and we hope that this is helpful for you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, everyone, for being with us. It's late after probably a day
Thank
of
you, everyone.
working and everything. So please stay in touch. And again, this is just a little taste, opening a door. Try to get the best from this powerful technology.
I just wanted to voice this out. I am so impressed, even though I joined a little bit late. I was stuck in a meeting, but I am so happy about Gamma. Honestly, when you're talking about all-nighter, I'm the one right now. So when I saw this, immediately I saw my problem, my hours, everything was saving, and the way how it was. I mean, I'm taking so much notes. I'm like, that's not enough. I don't know what was happening from the beginning of the hours. I think it was about 7:17 when I joined. I'm just like, I missed a lot. So I'm excited for the masterclass. Can't wait to join. But this definitely was a game changer for me. I am just so impressed. Can't wait. Notebook LM is something, So I teach at the university, and I also start teaching at a college level. And I know that Canvas has a sandbox that we can upload that Notebook LM. I know of it, I know how it is, but to actually see it here, it really, because I'm dealing with like thick books that I have to read, there are PDFs that I have to summarize. So I'm beyond, I'm just so excited. I know for the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be in it. So I want to thank all three of you guys for putting something like this together. And I'm looking forward for the masterclass. Thank you guys.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, Homa. Thank you.
I think Homa's reaction is very similar to us when we started seeing a lot of these tools, and even on a
That's
weekly
true.
basis. We start seeing these tools for the first time, and it's amazing. So,
My first impression was like, where did you find these?
We found after hours and hours or hundreds of hours or thousands of hours of research and using these. So
Yes. No, it's very funny because even for us that we are working with AI daily, it's just amazing the amount of new tools that come out every week. So for us that we dedicate our lives to AI, so to speak, it's hard to keep pace. So we try to, one of our missions is eventually to reduce the gap, between the people who don't know the tools and the just unbelievable speed that these tools are being developed.
I feel the same because there's so much out there. You don't know which one is the one that you want to use. So for me, I appreciate you guys doing the research. I appreciate pulling out the best. Like, hey, I think as a teacher, this is good. I think as a business owner, that's good because I'm an entrepreneur as well as I teach like Mr. Antonio. So we're colleagues at the same time. So I'm just impressed by all of this. I am just like, thank you so much for pulling. Like, it's kind of like so much. Sometimes it's overwhelming for me. I have to be honest. I'm just like, it's overwhelming. The only thing I'm using is like just understanding the prompts, understanding, what to do there. But now that I'm kind of getting in there, the more I know, the more I find myself that how much I don't know. So I appreciate you guys summing everything up, putting it, and I'm looking forward to the master class to see what that's gonna do. I mean, I'm excited. Thank you guys.
well, everyone, thank you so much once again, and we'll be in touch. Hopefully, looking forward, we'll send this recording to each and every one of you. Please share it with your friends, share it with your colleagues. Honestly, it's one of the best things you could do for a friend is to help them see, hey, this is what are just the tip of the iceberg of some of the new tools out there. All right, guys.
also, Mila, I will say have a good night, everybody. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you so much. God bless you
Thank you
guys.
so much, everyone. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.